Welcome back to 32 team 2013 season. We we'll take a look at the scores and schedules, the scores, and then the schedule of this week and next week. So let's get into it. It's week 4 here. Let's get to week 3. So start the year, start the week. Jacksonville, Houston, Chip Kelly gets his first win as a head coach in the NFL, beating the Texans, who were 2-0, 13-10. Geno Smith played really, really bad in this one. 133 yards, one touchdown, 13 for 20. Well, no, but a lot of those were checkdowns. He missed a lot of throws. He threw a red zone interception. Took bad sacks. He actually was sacked 11 times. It was bad. He didn't throw the ball away. Chet Henry had a good game and got his team the win. So Geno Smith, excuse me, suffered his first loss as a starter in the NFL. He was 2-0. Now he's 2-1. Ben Tate scored the touchdown. Maurice Jones-Drew. Cecil Shorts scored the touchdown for Jacksonville. A lot of sacks to go around because Geno took a lot and Aaron Ross had the interception. So first win for Chip Kelly, and he is very happy about that. Denver Falcons, Matt Ryan, fresh off of a 7-year, $310 million contract, and he did not disappoint. The defense did, as they had up 36 points. Atlanta, once again, looks like the best offense in the NFL. Looks like Matt Ryan might win a second MVP in a row. 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, 22 for 28. Peyton Manning was really good too, 307 and 2 touchdowns. Just a good win for Denver. Many even scrambled for one, but yeah, Atlanta is really good on offense. Defensively, they're not great. They fired their defensive coordinator last year. Usually fired Mike Nolan. So, but yeah, big win. This is a quality win. Quality win in overtime there. The Rams, St. Louis Rams versus the Miami Dolphins. Ryan Tannehill has a really good game, but loses. Sam Bradford throws for a lot of yards, but obviously throws an interception. Um, the Rams are 2-1 right now. I think they're tied for first in the AFC West. Tyler Eifert continues to have a really good rookie season. I see Charles Clay also got a touchdown, who is a trade candidate. I could see him moved here soon. But excuse me. Excuse me. Oh wow. Dan Carpenter missed the game-winning kick. They won't cut him, but they will monitor that. Missed the game-winning kick in this one. But a 22-21 score. Dolphins lose this one. I think they are 1-2. I want to say. Lions, Colts. The Lions are not good this year at all. Excuse me. Um, they fought 0-3. They're 26-17. They lose this one 26-17. They fall to 0-3 this season. Andrew Luck, good game. Matt Stafford, not so much. Chris Thompson continues to be the leading rusher for the Colts week by week. 7th round pick. He's really surprising a lot. He's turning a lot of heads. Kobe Fleener putting himself up there among the best of the tight ends. Chris Thompson once again. Nate Burleson caught a touchdown. T.Y. Hilton caught a touchdown. And then the other two were Kobe Fleener, of course. Not much to talk about this game. Darius Slay got an interception, the rookie, first round pick or second round pick. Colts are good, much better than they were last year in my eyes. I think the better defensively. Lions aren't good. Jim Schwartz will most likely be out by the end of the year. Here we go. Fun game. Pittsburgh, Washington. It was a 31-17 game going into the fourth quarter. Looked like it was kind of out of reach. And then Washington has a 28-point fourth quarter. Bill O'Brien gets his first win as head coach of the Washington Commanders. And I think it's pretty safe to say that Robert Griffin III has arrived. 5 touchdowns, 451 yards, and an interception. Led the comeback. Pittsburgh falls to 1-2. Washington moves up to 1-2. RG3, I think, has finally arrived. Le'Veon Bell isn't been great. 3.8 yards to carry, no touchdowns. RG3 had a good game on the ground. Eddie Lacy got a touchdown, the rookie, but you see touchdowns here. 2 from Devery Henderson, 1 from Fred Davis, 1 from Pierre Garcon, 1 from Leonard Hankerson, who only had 1 catch. Wesley Sanders had 1, and Brendan Banks had 1. Um, really, really fun game, and a really, really big win for Bill O'Brien to get that monkey off his back. Sean Treese to miss a field goal. But that's a huge win. That's a good win. That's a good comeback. Bill O'Brien beating the Steelers, who are a really good franchise team. Not so much over the past 2 years. They really haven't been great. 5-11 last year. This year now they're 1-2. Could see a change of scenery here soon if Pittsburgh continues to be bad. But yeah, big win. Washington gets the first under Mr. O'Brien. New Orleans, Chicago. Chicago playing really good football since their week 1 disappointment. Jay Cutler, really good game. Drew Brees, really good game. Matt Forte, really good game. Darren Sproles comes back from injury, has an all right game. Brandon Marshall, Marquise Colston, Darren Sproles did have a good game through there. Marquise Colston, Earl Bennett caught touchdowns along with Austin Collie, Matt Forte, Zach Ertz, the rookie, and Jed Collins. Zach Ertz also another one of those rookie tight ends is having a really good season. Put him up there with Travis Kelce, who we'll get to later. But overall, Lovie Smith has his team ready to play. Lovie Smith in real life was in coaching for the Bears in this season. But with the playoff appearance last year, winning a playoff game, of course, beating the Packers in the playoffs, and having a really good start to this year, probably going to see Lovie Smith for a long time in Chicago. If they consistently keep winning football games and winning playoff games too. So a big win for Chicago. New York, Baltimore. Baltimore off to some early season struggles. They're 1-2. They lose to overtime to the Giants. Um, yeah, it's not looking good. Joe Flacco got that big contract. He had his best game of the season so far, but he really just isn't playing great. Eli Manning also had a good game. Ray Rice continues to be amazing, but Joe Flacco just hasn't been. Or Joe Flacco obviously played good in this one, but he wasn't the Joe Flacco last year, who wasn't really turning the ball over, who was doing everything he needed to. He got his team, 1 win. It was 1 win away from playing in the Super Bowl. So, sorry about that. Yeah, I think Joe Flacco is an elite quarterback still, but he is not the quarterback he was last year, and he's not playing up to his contract. But a good win for New York. Baltimore really disappointing a lot of people. Cleveland, New York. Here's a fact: the New York Football Jets are #1 in the AFC East with this win and the Patriots loss, which we'll get to later. Cleveland had 503 yards of offense and lost this one. Brian Hoyer had a really good game. Mark Trestman maybe is the guy, and Brian Hoyer maybe is the guy in Cleveland. Obviously they're 1-2, but they're so competitive. They were in all 3 of their games. Mark Sanchez has a really good game. Sean Mendenhall got hurt after 3 carries for 133 yards and a touchdown. Trent Richardson played well. DJ Arrington got a touchdown. Mark Sanchez and Santonio Holmes also. Santonio Holmes' touchdown was a fumble by Joe McKnight, and then he picked it up into the end zone and got the touchdown. Um, Josh Gordon had a good game. This was a fun game. Two, Terrence Williams got a touchdown. Mike Gillespie got a catch. Cleveland, I think, has their guy, and with their head coach, obviously, you have a sack there from the rookie, first overall pick, Barcavius Mingo. Um, Really, really good game. Big, huge win for Rex Ryan and the Jets, who he's on the hot seat. And you win football games, you're number one in the AFC East through 3 games. Maybe you're saving your job. Cardinals, Cowboys. The Cardinals win, the Cowboys lose. Cowboys are just not a great team. They're not a bad team, but they're not great. The Cardinals, I think, are 2-1 now under Mr. Bruce Arians. But neither one of these teams are really great. They're kind of both just average, which is really good. Bruce Arians leading. This Cardinals team was really, really bad last year, so to be average is actually kind of good. But the Cowboys are just blah. They just aren't great. They aren't bad, but they aren't great, and that's another loss. Vikings, Packers. After starting 1-0, Minnesota is not doing very good. Christian Ponder, an all right game. Obviously, Adrian Peterson's hurt, but Aaron Rodgers was pulled in this one, I think, at the start of the fourth quarter. Yeah, start of the fourth quarter. It was 35-10. Colt McCoy came in, threw an interception, completed three of his 4 passes. But yeah, this was blowout. No Adrian Peterson, big problem in us. You have Musa Muhammad, who is still playing and is actually having a pretty good year so far. You have no Adrian Peterson and a lot of problems in Minnesota. They fired Leslie Frazier after the disappointing end to the season last year. Hired Jim Caldwell from the Ravens, who honestly looks like he was a vital piece of that puzzle because Joe Flacco does not look the same without him. And they're 1-2, but when they get AP back, things will probably look different. Here we go. New England, Oakland. Oakland beats down on New England 35-16, a 19-point win. New England just really couldn't get anything going on offense once again. They couldn't put the ball in the end zone. They can't score a lot of points. It's been the issue all year through 3 games. They're going to have to do something. Seriously. Because this team won't be able to compete for another Super Bowl if they continue not able to score points. Tom Brady, 313 yards, touchdown, a pick. Carson Palmer, 220 and 3 touchdowns. Darren McFadden, 181 and 2 touchdowns. But like New England, like Danny Amendola is your leading receiver. I mean, come on. Julian Edelman. I mean, Julian Edelman's good. Danny Amendola, they're good. You're not getting the ball to Gronk enough. You're not getting the ball to Brandon Lloyd enough. Kyle Juszczyk has 2 catches, but man, the Raiders came to play here. They were 0-2, and they just whooped their butts. That's a huge win by the Raiders. That's actually a huge win. Tennessee Charge, so Tennessee, San Diego. First game under Ryan Fitzpatrick, and his first pass as a Titan was an interception. Maybe a sign for things to come, but he didn't. He after that he kind of bounced back, not greatly, but threw a touchdown, 140 yards, and another interception. But he just got traded here. He's learning a new system. You got to give him time. Philip Rivers, really good game. Not a lot to talk about. This was a complete butt whooping. Keenan Allen, 3 for 38 and no touchdown. But 3 touchdowns for Greg Jennings. Yeah, this is just Chargers whooped ass. Mike McCoy has this offense rolling. Is he resurrecting Philip Rivers' career? Maybe too early to say, but it looks like he is. Where were we? Carolina, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay gets their first win of the year. Started out 0-2. They finally get that win. Cam Newton gets hurt again. That was hurt last year. This one, he won't be out for any time. Tavares Jackson has a all right outing in his replacement, but Cam Newton will be back. It's the team of Cam Newton. He's really good, but he just can't stay healthy. Couldn't stay healthy last year. So far this year, hasn't been able to stay healthy. So we'll see if those problems keep coming within this season and just throughout the years, because he's a really good player. Just can he stay on the field? Josh Freeman, all right game. Doug Martin is where it's at, though. The muscle hamster has 146 yards. Vincent Jackson, Zach Miller, and Ricardo Lockett all caught touchdowns. Yeah, good win for the Buccaneers to get their first win of the year. You know, they were in the playoffs last year, but defensively they haven't been great. It's probably their best defensive outing all year, allowing 14 points, and it doesn't get much better than that. Buffalo, Seattle, EJ Manuel's first career start ends in a loss, but it is against Seattle, who gets their first win of the year in overtime. EJ Manuel, 2 interceptions and a pick. His defense is very good, but so that isn't a bad outing in his first career start. 69% completion percentage. Russell Wilson has a good game, throwing 3 touchdowns. um, Fred Jackson has a rushing touchdown, but finally, Seattle gets that first win of the year. Um, you need that. They were 0-2. You get it against a Bills team, which isn't great, but that one win can start a momentum. It can start rattling off wins. So yeah, good win by Seattle. Almost even a big win. Had a nice, good way to get your first win. Kansas City, Cincinnati. This was a massacre, 41-3. Um, really, and you know why they lost this game? Yeah, 84 yards and penalty yards by the uh the Bengals. So many penalties. It was insane how many penalties they had. So Andy Dalton didn't play good at all. Alex Smith continues to look like a really, really, really good trade for the Chiefs as they get their first win of the year. Jamal Charles has 2 touchdowns. First 3 games for the Chiefs, all on the road, by the way. Hopkins, first round pick, has a good game. Kelsey, second round pick, has a good game. Um, and the other touchdown was Jamal Charles. So Jamal Charles had 3 touchdowns in total. Um, yeah, complete massacre to get the Chiefs their first win of the year, 41-3. Philly is back, looking good again. They beat the undefeated 49ers. Michael Vick has a good game. Colin Kaepernick, not so much. LaMichael James has 1 carry for 54 yards and a touchdown. Frank Gore, all right. Colin Kaepernick, all right. No LaShawn McCoy. They still get the win in Philadelphia. Touchdown catches Frank Gore, Brent Selleck. Both these teams are probably going to be playing ball in February. San Fran is much improved from last year. And Philly just needs to figure a couple things out. David Akers also is probably going to get cut, and they're going to have a replacement for him. Just isn't very good anymore. Philly, and I think both these teams will be played football well in January. I think San Fran figured out from last year their issues, turnovers, and Philly obviously was in the Super Bowl last year. Kind of had a rough stretch, a rough start. Had to come back against Dallas, down big. Lost to the Bears big. Get their first huge, nice win against a really good 49ers team. And yeah, that is week 3. Week 4 schedule. Vikings, Panthers, Commanders, Eagles, Bears, Falcons, Ravens, Jags, Lions, Packers, Steelers, Colts, Bengals, Browns, Raiders, Jets, Titans, Texans, Chargers, Broncos, Giants, 49ers, Dolphins, Chiefs, Buccaneers, Saints, and the Cardinals and the Seahawks to actually start the week. Yeah, you want to look at the players of the week: RG3 and Greg Jennings, Earl Thomas and James Harrison. So that is week 3. Obviously, you see the Patriots on a bye. I think the Cowboys are on a bye as well. And as you also can see, the Jets are number 1 in the AFC East. So that is week 3 recap with the week 4 schedule. I will see you. Actually, I'll make a video at the end of after week 4. We'll make the first quarter league report. So we'll see what happens then in 1 week.